All right, this is a level three problem because it doesn't really do any favors on this problem. There's not really any shortcut. Um, when you're looking for the value of y, that gives you the indication that you've got to solve between these two equations. So I'm going to rewrite them. I'm up and down from each other. When I see two equations, I always think automatically maybe the elimination method to solving or substitution, but substitution doesn't look like the right thing here. Hey, if you add these two equations, you're not going to get anywhere. If you subtract them, you won't get anywhere. I can even show you the addition. If I add them, I get 15x minus 2y equals 28, 38. It doesn't, you can't solve for y. There's really no way to really solve for y when you do addition. And then you can kind of tell also with subtraction, it's not going to work. So one thing that will save you a little bit of time here is knowing that you got to find the value of y. So I got to get x, when I add it or subtract it, go away to get a zero. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to multiply this by 5 and this by 3. If you are familiar with LCM, GCF, those terms, I'm basically kind of thinking in those terms. I want these two to be the same. And to be the same, I've got to kind of find a number. I could multiply, this by 10, this by some big number too, but that's not realistic. I want to do something small, so the smallest I can to get it so that it's the same number. If I multiply by 5 here, I'll get 15, and then by 3 here, I'll get 15, and that's what I want. So this is going to give me 15x plus 10y. You got to multiply all the way through. That's the rule in algebra. Equals 5 times 17. One way I do it is 5 times 10 is 50. 5 times 7 is 35. And you add them together, you get 85. So that's kind of how I do things in my head. Then I'm going to multiply this by 3. I get 15x. Okay, minus 12y equals 3 times 21 is 60 plus 3, 63. All right, now that I'm here, I can now get rid of this x. I'm just going to subtract these two equations, and that gets rid of the x. That goes to 0. So bye-bye. Then I do 10y minus 12y. So the two negatives go to a positive. So it's really 22y equals 85 minus 63. All right, so I get 2 here and 2 here. All right, now it turns out really nicely. I'm going to divide by whatever's beside the y, which is 22. Divide by 22. So y is equal to 1. And that's what I want.